Good day, everybody. We'll be starting here momentarily here. We're just giving time for people to come on.
Mr. Biden, Lord, please save him. 'Cause if he ain't in the big house, man, he's got no reason to grin.
Goodbye. Is good fever. He's like a friend of a family. He may fall, he may trip, he may even forget. But make no mistake about he will get a vote from me. Thank you, Uncle Joe. It's for you we shout. As long as we are cooking, you are always invited to our cookout. Don't worry about keeping your word to us folks. We just want to sing and dance and share a few jokes. Thank you, Uncle Joe, it's for you we shout. As long as we are cooking, you are always invited to our cookout. Don't worry about keeping your word to us folks. We just want to sing and dance and share a few jokes.
All right. Good day, everybody. Welcome again to another broadcast. So glad that you guys are here. So glad that you guys can join us on this Sunday, July the 21st, 2024. Man, what a difference a few days make since we were last together. It was kind of being whispered, and then the whispers started getting a little bit louder that they were pretty much, calling for, they were saying that, that Biden was in fact going to step down, Sunday. There was a guy that was actually calling it, and, everybody has, reports. They have like unnamed sources and all of that. So, you don't really, people say stuff and, you don't believe it until it actually happens. Well, this guy was actually on the money here, and he was right. Yeah. So Sunday, that's exactly what happened. Just in a nutshell, just to let you know that, it was Biden. He was losing money. He was, there was a lot of donors, key donors for the Democratic Party that said, listen, we ain't gonna put no more money up in this guy because he's already showing us straight up that he's not at least up to the illusion. And notice I said illusion, because if you think one moment that the president of the United States is pulling buttons and levers and stuff to control this nation, to control the economy, then you're a bigger fool than what Missy got up here on top of her Trump cap, her official Trump cap that she's wearing right now. I looked up Joy Reid today. I said, she's got to be losing it right now. I have some clips I got to share with y'all. Joy Reid, to the nth degree that this woman was going to try to keep Trump, old Joe, in office. And I said, it's not even, this sounds personal. This sounds like, did y'all have a relationship or something? What's going on? And it's horrible. And so I went to her Twitter today, and yeah, she's got it locked off. She's got it locked off. And she ain't taking no more callers today. And it's, so today we're going to talk about two different topics today. Of course, obviously, we're going to, since this whole Trump thing came up, because originally I just had one topic we were going to talk about, but today we're going to, the importance of it. we need to talk a little bit about this and what's the implications. Are there any real implications to you and me? And then we're gonna also take a look at, of course, these Boule folks that are out here. We got another crier in the house. Yes, and you know who he is. You know who this brother is. When he heard that that Biden stepped down, this man was crying again. And I literally just came back in the house and I saw the headline. I was like, you gots to be kidding me. You absolutely got to be kidding me, man. And wait till you hear what he had to say. I mean, the crying is one thing, but what he had to say. Oh, thank you, Uncle Joe. It's for you we shout. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. So we're going to talk about that today for the first, I guess, hour or so. And then we're going to take a break. During that break, that's going to be our Samba Tree break, because we're introducing some brand new products that I think that many of you will find quite exciting. You'll find that you'll get a lot of use out of it and all of that. So that'll be our Samba Tree break. I decided just to move it towards the center. And then afterwards, what we're going to talk about is, if you've been following us on our community page, we've been doing a little bit of, like we've always been doing, history, going back in the history of this, going back in the history of that, and just giving you just a bunch of stuff that you can explore and investigate on your own. And so we have, we did a post where we talked about these different individuals within the Hebrew space, going back into the early days, into the late 1800s, early 1900s, of individuals who would claim to be some type of biblical figure, right? And even up till today. And I was saying, listen, the apples don't fall far from the tree. And another thing that we're going to look at is these different calls throughout time in that construct, the Hebrew construct, where, they said, we got to leave America. We got to leave America. We're going to leave America. So we're going to mention some of them, not all of them, but we'll just mention a few. I'll just mention a few examples. But the bigger part of that is going to be, if you are approached, if someone comes up to you, if you're on YouTube, if you're on social media, if you just hear they say, listen, we got to get out of America because America is crashing, y'all. We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. We got to leave. We got to leave. According to the Bible, we got to leave. We got to leave. We got to leave. Well, I'm just going to simply go through a very short checklist of things that you need to ask whoever it is that's presenting it to you. You need to ask, because unfortunately, many of our people will not do basic investigation. And so you end up in a place of being miserable, broke, and lost. And so we want to stop that. You know what I mean? We want to do our part to stop that. And so just some basic tips for you to ask anytime you're approached about anything. Because remember, the other day we said, listen, never, ever, 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 ever make a decision based off of fear. If it's fear that's driving you to make a decision, don't make it. As simple as that. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into that as well. All right. I need to plug something up here, because otherwise my light will go out here in just a moment here. So give me a moment, and then I will I'll get right to it. Okay. Let me give y'all some holding music in the meantime. Okay. Hold on for a sec. Let me give y'all some holding music. I said, what's going on? All right.
Like a friend of a family, he may fall, he may trip, he may even forget, but make no mistake about, he will get a vote from me. Thank you, Uncle Joe. It's for you we shout. As long as we are cooking, you are always invited to our cookout.
Don't worry
about keeping your
word to us, folk.
We just want to sing and dance.
We want to sing and dance.
And share a few jokes.
And share a few
Thank
jokes.
you, Uncle Joe.
Thank you, Uncle Joe.
We shout. As long as we are cooking, you are always
Invited to our cookout.
Don't worry about keeping your
Word to us, folks. Lift your hands, everybody, all over the room.
And
Share a few jokes. Hallelujah. Oh, my goodness. Let's go ahead and get started, everybody. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Let me start off with this here. Here's an article that I came across. I wanted to make sure I shared it with y'all. Check this out here. In letter of support, 1,400 black women back Biden. Let's get into it. This was just the other day. Today is the 21st. This article came out on the 19th. So you're talking, 2 days ago? Let's read it. As President Joe Biden recovers from COVID-19 amid an apparent fight within the Democratic Party over his nomination for re-election, the president has received a show of support from a collection of black women and allies. A letter with 1,400 signatories urges Biden to continue the race and calls out those seeking to push him off the Democratic ticket. I should read. Let's see. They got clips of it in here, so we'll just go with this one. The letter issued Wednesday titled Black Women Leaders and Allies Standing Firmly and Resolutely for President Joseph Biden's presidential nomination expressed support for Biden to stay in the presidential race. The letter notes its signatories' strong support for the Biden-Harris campaign, noting the administration's accomplishments and agenda for a second term. The letter also argues that any change to the ticket should have been conducted through the primary campaign, which they're absolutely correct on. And I agree with them, because what they're doing, Democratic Party, what they're doing right now is invalidating all the votes. That's literally what they're doing. So they're correct on that. Noting that the 14 million primary voters supported Biden and Harris in votes this year. The women represented in this letter also remind the party of its power of black women voters. History also reflects that black women are the most reliable voting bloc for Democrats. And she said they say that because that's supposed to be a point of pride. Okay. I don't care if it said they were for Republicans. It don't matter. The fact that you keep doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same results and you're proud of that. Yeah. The letter states, when black women vote in record numbers, Democrats win the White House, the U.S. Senate, the U.S. House, the governorships, state legislators, mayors races, and other local races across the nation. And then they go on. The letter was signed by several prominent black women, including former Senator Carol Mosley Braun, the first black woman ever elected to the Senate, and former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. Other signees include Democratic strategist and former Democratic National Committee Chair Donna Brazile and Black Voters Matter co-founder LaTosha Brown. Brazile tweeted that she joined the 1,400 black women in a letter of support for Biden, condemned the lack of Democratic unity. These women are standing up for Uncle Joe. Brown tweeted that the women represented in the letter will not respond lightly to any attempt to marginalize the voices of black voters, also including the 14 million voters in the primary, nor will they allow the elite Dems to step over Vice President Kamala Harris? They won't do it. They won't allow that to happen. All right, reparations, you gone. Okay, so you doing all. Don't come and do the caps thing, okay? Please don't do that in my chat, okay? You keep up alive. Anyway, the show of support comes at a critical time for Biden and Harris. Many Democrats, including some members of Congress, have called on the president to step aside, and then they go on and on and on and on. But the black women are standing up to what they believe. They're not going to allow any changes to take place. Well, it happened. That happened. That just happened. So now all of a sudden, so I got some clips here for you, because I want you to see how people like Joy Reid was out here making supposedly making these strong cases to keep Biden in, making these asinine comparisons. Ridiculous, 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 ridiculous. Let me find for you one of those clips here. And then I got some other clips I will share with you momentarily. Because number one, for some of you, you're going to get an education. Today will be your day of education. Because for those of you who are still believing that somehow your vote matters, my hope is at the end of this broadcast, your eyes will be opened. I really hope your eyes will be opened by the end of this broadcast. Because y'all ain't saving nothing. This whole notion that, yes, we're saving the democracy. Democracy ain't save you, but you gonna save it. All right, so let's continue here. Well, while I'm scrolling here, let me just go ahead and this is how much power black folks have in the Democratic Party. All right, want you to listen, okay? As I'm kind of scrolling through here, let me go ahead and get these things up on the screen here as I'm going by here. Which is okay? Here we go. Let me get this up here. Y'all gonna learn today. All right, so let me go here. This gentleman here is the person that's over the DNC. Let's take a listen to what he has to say as far as Biden is concerned.
I wanted to kick things off this morning by responding to a few of the outrageous things that happened last night. What you heard was transparent politicizing of tragic loss of American families and absolutely nothing to honor their losses with action. You did not hear about a plan to secure the border from the Republicans.
Oh, no. This ain't it. My bad. This ain't it. Let me get that for you. I'll get that now. I'm gonna get it for you. Hold on for a second. This gentleman is the head of the DNC. I want you to hear what he had to say. DNC. If I could spell right, hold on. Man, I can't find it. It's a conspiracy. All right, hold on. If not, I'll just keep on trucking what I had here because I had all this stuff bookmarked. Okay, let's see. Anyway, so as I'm talking, I'm not going to waste too much of your time here, but the amount of this black gentleman, he was up saying that, hey, listen, I don't care what y'all say. I don't care what y'all say. At the end of the day, he is not stepping down. He is not stepping down. We've already made that decision. We made the decision. But this thing, when I tell you with Biden stepping down, it literally pulled the cover and it showed exactly just how much power these Negroes actually don't have. It's all, the illusion is exposed. All right. And let me see here. Oh, that's what his name. Okay, hold on. I know where it is now. Hold on, I know where it is now. I'm getting it now. Hold on. Come on. Because if I can't find it here, I have to go to YouTube for it. Oh, this is it. Hold on, let me see if this. I'll start playing the audio.
As I've said repeatedly,
here we go. This is it. Thank you for your patience. This is it. So I usually have my assistants here, but they're not here. Anyway, listen to him. Hakeem Jeffries. He's a black man. So as a black man that's in a certain position, that means he's in control of everything, right? He's in control of all of this. Listen to the confidence in his voice. Let's take a listen.
Biden, as I've said repeatedly, is our nominee. He has a tremendous track record of success. He's one of the most accomplished American presidents in our history. And
He has the vision, I believe, the ability, the capacity, and the track record to make a case to the American people that will result in us being successful in November.
So he got up there and said very confidently that, oh, he's our candidate. I've said this repeatedly over and over again. He's our candidate. He ain't going nowhere or whatever. And then today happens. So exactly how much power do these Negroes have? Let me tell you, none. Absolutely none. Is nothing but smoke and freaking mirrors. That's all it is. All right, let me go on that. Now I'm back on track here. Let me find these other clips that I want to play for you again. And then in these clips, we're going to show you the real people behind the scenes and what they got to say. All right, we're going to have to go there too. All right, so let me go on here. I'm just scrolling. I'm gonna find these out. So anyway, as I'm doing this, thank you for those that are just joining us. Really appreciate y'all joining us today. We got two topics we're going to be covering today. Number one, we're going to be, of course, talking about this whole Biden stepping out and, and what's the implications of that and what it really means to the Boule class. We're talking about that now. And then we're going to take a break. As we're taking a break, we're going to talk about some of the things that are going on Sabbatry, brand new things that we are releasing. We're going to talk about that. And then we're going to get to the second topic of our broadcast. And that's going to be this whole thing about this promised land scams and stuff that's been going on for a long time. All right. So let's listen here. This is your friend and mine, Joy Reid. Let's take a listen to Joy Reid and how the degree that she was willing to go to support her man, Mr. Joe Biden.
Here's the question that I have on that. These two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. Weird situation. We'll figure that out one day. But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies, isn't that exactly the same?
It should.
I mean, it's not exactly the same. It's not the same incident, but it's an elderly man coming through out of an illness.
It should.
You got to go back. I got to look at her reaction to this. Even the white woman, look, she couldn't even, she was like, what did this woman just say? You mean to tell me I have to explain it? Play it again.
Age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do.
Go back. You know, I got to keep that on loop. Hold on for a second. I got to play it again. All right. So this is Joy Reid. She tried to make the case that someone catching a bullet is the same as getting COVID. What? Go back. Let's go back.
If he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do.
I got to make that into a GIF. Oh my goodness. The degree this woman has gone to try to make the case for dear Uncle Joe. Oh my goodness. Well, anyway, if you go back to the other videos that we've done, there's some other videos because I'm not going. Oh my goodness, you'll see that. Yeah, we covered some other some other clips too of her saying some stuff. Now, let me see. Now, this is Joy Reid again, and this is where it turns. For me, it takes a very dark turn. See. Here's the thing. I told y'all I have been done with politics, my involvement in it or whatever, if you ever want to call it that. Been done with that for a good minute. But it is something that we should keep our eyes on from time to time, pay attention to these things or whatever. But at the same time, have the maturity to say, you know what, this is clown show. I'm not going to mess with this. You know, I'm not going to allow my emotions to get all tied up in this stuff. Right. But you know, you still follow this stuff. And so I personally do not care. Like the people that's on here right now, on this live right now, I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Libertarian. I don't care if you're a Green Party. I don't care. What I do know is at the end of the day, it's money that makes the decisions in politics, period. Right now, all the money with Israel is on the side of the Republicans. So you know right now who's going to be the next president, okay? But at the end of the day, Israel has always hedged its bets on both sides. Corporate money right now is making its way over to the Republican side because they already know. You understand what I'm saying? The reason why Biden stepped down was because money was starting to shift. And the moment that money started to shift, all of a sudden, then he was like, you know, they said, okay, now, and it's too late now. It wasn't we black women going to come together and then we going to stop it. They ain't listening to y'all. They're not listening to you because you don't have the power you think you have. But at the same time, we're not going to forget the slick talk that y'all do talking about political black women. Now, I make a distinction here. It's not all black women think this way. Let me be very clear with that. But the political class of black women, we ain't going to forget the slick talk that y'all put out here about other, particularly black men. Case in point, what I'm about to show you right now. Now, this is Joy Reid right now. Let me go back and play this, what she said, you know, regarding black men. Let's play this clip.
And then in Argentina, that's how that went, which is that you had this coalition of, and not to be cruel, but, it was described as sort of an incel election. It was the young, angry men of Argentina who, they wanted a macho candidate. And it went along with policies like banning abortion, banning birth control, and, the idea of no-fault divorce. It all kind of goes together that you've seen this kind of election before. You see the same thing in Hungary. Like the Orbanism of the party it's rooted in returning white Christian men, but also white men and white adjacent men, black men, brown men.
Catch it. You caught it. Go back. Go back. Go back.
You see the same thing in Hungary. Like the Orbanism of the party it's rooted in returning white Christian men, but also white men and white adjacent men, black men, brown men who are like.
So this coon right here, number one, former RNC head, he about the biggest tap dancer out here. But anyway, besides the point. But getting back what she said, I want to make sure you caught what she said. She referred to black men as white men, adjacent white men. That's what she said. So when she and other women like her, when they look at black men, because black men don't go along with what these mammies are saying, then they see us as white men. This is exactly how they see us. You understand what I'm saying? And so, no, we're just not emotionally led. That's the issue right here. No, we're going to ask questions, and we're not going to just back you just because. We don't fall for the symbolism. At least, there are plenty that don't. You know what I'm saying? But again, I want to stress to you that I'm specifically addressing and talking about the political class of black women. Not all black women are Joy Reid. All right. I know how to walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. All right. So I'm not saying all black women represents her or she represents all black women. It's just people like her that have this disdain for black men. And see, now is the time for us to start cashing in all of our coins for the side slick stuff that these individuals have been putting out about black men. And then I'm gonna go and play this one. Now, this one has a language warning to it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll just let you know that right now. But this is another individual right here. This is hold on for a sec. Sheila Jackson Lee. Now, Sheila Jackson Lee, as you know, she just passed away. She's Congresswoman out of Texas. And, as much as, you hear someone passing, it's like, oh, but at the same time, this was a microsecond because I want to play for you an audio of how she was caught speaking to her one of them, and then the other one's a black man too, how she's speaking to two black men on her staff. Like I said, again, it's a language warning here. They have text on the screen so you'll be able to follow along, but you need to hear this because see, that generation of people that carry this mess and want to say, oh, well, you know, she's a pioneer and all that needs to go. It's time for you to leave. The train, the train is calling now. It's time for you to go. All right, so let me play this audio. Remember, I said language warning, and then if you pay attention to the screen, you'll be able to see what she's saying there. Let's listen.
You took a piece of paper from that woman regarding something that was over at Duncan Tail. Where is it? What date was it?
Oh, from yesterday. Jerome took it upstairs. I'd have to call him. He took it up when I switched out the paper. I'll call him as soon as you get here.
I don't want you to do a goddamn thing. I want you to have a fucking brain. I want you to have read it. I want you to say, Congresswoman, it was such and such date. That's what I want. That's the kind of staff that I want to have. So some stupid other motherfucker did it, and I don't have the information. Nobody sent me the information. I need to ensure my schedule. And, if Boo-Boo did it, shit-ass did it, fuckface did it, and nobody knows a goddamn thing in my office, okay? Nothing. I gave it to you. Your job was to get it on the calendar, imprint it in your brain, or send me the information back saying, Congresswoman, I made sure that the Ovi Duncan Tell event that you gave me for so-and-so date at 7 is on the fucking calendar. Not to, Jerome has it. Okay? So when I called Jerome, he gonna be sitting up there like a fat-ass, stupid idiot, talking about what the fuck he doesn't know. Okay? Both of y'all are fuck up a fucking F. It's the worst shit that I could have ever had put together. Two goddamn big-ass children. Fucking idiots. Serve no goddamn purpose. Ain't managing nobody. Nobody's respecting them. Nobody gives a shit about what you're doing. And you ain't doing shit. And this is an example of it. I gave it to Jerome. This is not child's work. Okay?
All right. All for the record. All for the record. We're playing all the receipts today. We're playing the receipts today. These are the people that are out here trying to tell you how to vote. These are the people out here trying to tell you how to vote. Here's an image right here. Here's an image right here. And they were saying how, on her deathbed, and this is what she was saying here. Democratic Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee's dying wish posted just hours before her passing. And look, she's in the hands of dear old Uncle Joe. It's for you we shout. See that? See that? And I'm going in our hotline group that we have on 3 months. Someone posted something up here. I'm trying to get it up here on the screen too. Give me just a moment here, because I'm trying to get all of it up here for y'all, because y'all need to see all of this stuff. And don't forget it. We got to stop being the people that have short memories when it comes to this stuff. Hold on, I'm just downloading it right now. And thank you, whoever uploaded this. I appreciate it. All right. Here we go. So I just downloaded it. Okay, so now let me move it all over to the computer here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Welcome everybody that's here and coming and joining us in the room. Appreciate it. Okay, here we go. So let me show this with you here. So this is, let me start off with this one, and let's see, that's 1, 2. I'll start off with this one right here. Oh, here we go. I'll start off with this one right here. All right, so this is her here. Next week, this is on January the 20th, on 2021. What did she say here? She said, next week, I will introduce legislation to develop a federal system for mass vaccination distribution, and to do that distribution at large sites like sports facilities. I was vaccinated a couple of weeks ago under the continuity of government protocol. All right, so that's what she said now. So she signed legislation to push this thing. Then what happened? They said she tested positive for COVID. I thought, according to Biden, he said once you get it, you won't get sick. That's what Biden said. And you tell me now one of these nigresses didn't call him up on that? Not one of these people got up here and said, well, wait a minute. Out of your own mouth, you said that people would not get sick off of this stuff. And it burns me up the fact that you got these ashy Negroes that won't even get up here and hold any of these people accountable. They won't bring this stuff up at all, but they want to be 100% focused on Trump. You know, Trump, he just, if he goes back in office, you know, it's going to be Jim Crow all over again and all this, you know. Anyway, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee tested positive for COVID. She's fully vaccinated and has received her boosters. She encourages everyone to get tested and fully vaccinated along with their boosters. Okay, now let's look at the progression. And then finally, what happened? What happened? Oh, well. Oh, well. And the thing is, I'll weep for the other people before I weep for someone like this, because see, this negress had the power to sit up here and say, no, we need to lead an investigation on this stuff. Our people have been getting impacted by this thing. We need to lead an investigation on this. But instead of doing that, what was she doing? You heard the tape. You heard how she talks about her black interns. Black male interns. You see how she talked to them. Now, if that was anybody else, we got to do a civil rights march. But see, I'm telling you, this class of political women, they have a hatred towards black men. They do. And let's continue. Let's keep the ball rolling here. Because see, this broadcast today is for everybody that has very short memories. Because we're going to bring it all back to you. We're bringing it all back. This is a short clip for those of you that are like, okay, because you know right now they're getting together and they're saying, oh, we gotta support Kamala now, you know, because that's our only hope. Well, let's remind you of what Kamala said as far when she was asked, are you going to do anything regarding to help black people? Let's listen to what Kamala's answers to that was.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Oh, did she say that? Let's play that again.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Oh.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Well, there you go. So here you got this candidate who's come out here and made it very clear she ain't trying to do nothing for only black folks. She ain't trying to do that. Oh, then by the way, Sheila Jackson Lee, let's not forget, she was the chairwoman over the reparations thing. She was the chairwoman. This is what the United States, they said, okay, all right, we done heard y'all. What we're going to do now, we'll get together and we'll go ahead and do a committee and we'll just investigate and try to figure out the complexities of doing a reparations thing. We'll do it. They ain't do that for the Jews. They ain't do that for the Japanese. They gave them their checks and said, keep it pushing. In fact, there's more where that comes from. Black folks, now all of a sudden we got to do an investigation. Now all of a sudden we got to figure it out. We got to calculate because it's all confusion out here. I don't know. You know, all of a sudden now it's confusion. But anyway, let's keep the ball rolling here. Let's go back. Now here, we've talked about them. I got other clips here too, but here is your boy, Van Jones. Yes, right, ladies and gentlemen. Van Jones, the crying man. I got home and I saw the headline. I said, ain't no way in the world this dude. The headline said, Van Jones is crying. I'm not making it up. Let's take a listen to Mr. Van Jones's response to Grandpa. And yes, I'm using that word for a reason because he used it.
Even people who are pushing for this to happen, it's kind of like when your grandpa, you got to take the keys, and everybody, you got to take his keys, you got to, and he's fighting, and everybody's so frustrated, and then you finally get the keys back, and then you just cry. Because this is somebody that you love. This is somebody that you care about. This is somebody who was there for you. This is somebody, you wouldn't be here without him. And you had to take something from him. Now, this is not, look, politics is politics. But this is a human moment for one of the great humans in America. This is a huge moment for him, for his family, for all of us who love him, for all of us who wanted him to get across the finish line. But if you're a young person watching this is leadership. This is patriotism. This is what it means to put the country first, and put the party first, and put the cause first. When your arm gets tired, you let somebody else finish pitching the game. That's what Joe Biden has done, and he's done that for all of us. And so I just want to say, I don't know who's going to be the VP, the non-VP. I don't know anything about politics. I just know that I love this man. I care about this man. It was painful every day to sit up here and talk about him like he's just some problem for the party. Wait till we get to the convention. You're going to see people crying, standing, screaming, cheering. He may not get a chance to talk for 10 minutes. We finally get a chance to put our arm around this guy. He did the right thing for this country. He did the right thing for this party. All of us are going to be in this situation someday, and I hope that we take a moment to honor this man and to love this man. I love Joe Biden. I appreciate what he's done, and a lot of people are heartbroken today.
Oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. Whoa, Lord, 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 Lord. Whoa, Grandpa Joe, he ain't with us no more. We all gonna be poor. Whoa, 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 Grandpa Joe. Hallelujah. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the tap dancing has begun. It's begun, y'all. It has begun, y'all. It is official. The tap dancing has begun. Oh, my goodness. Somebody get this man. Get this man, y'all. Please, somebody snatch this man. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Grandpa, this man literally just called Jim Crow Joe Grandpa. He literally called. That makes me even mad at when people call Maxine Waters. She was at the Essence thing. They talking about, oh, well, she's Auntie Maxine Waters. What race group refers to their politicians as aunties and uncles? See, that's the problem right there. Number one, when you referring to these politicians as aunties, uncle, black folks are only ones that do that. We the only ones that do that stuff. Well, Joe Biden, I know he did the crime bill, but he's still grandpa. He just had a bad day that day. He just didn't like the little niggers. I mean, he didn't like black people that day, but that's okay. I know he said that if black people go into the schools, the school systems are going to turn into the jungles. And yes, he did say that. But no. He was just having a bad day that day. That's it. But he's still my grandpa. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's still grandpa. Whoa. Anyway, here we go. Let's see. He said, now this is Biden. More Biden. This is more Biden here. Let's take a listen here. Biden saying why he can't go through, he can't reach out to black people like now this is him just recently now. This is Biden. Recently said this. Listen to Biden, okay? Listen to Grandpa.
I think that, and one thing does change, it's not an excuse and explanation.
What?
I would ordinarily be going through black neighborhoods on the foot, working through the neighborhoods. I have a tradition. I close every campaign, no matter what campaign, going into the projects and going down the east side. And hey, Joe, well, how you doing? You know, everybody, well, just because they're my friends, let them know I'm still there. We can't do that now. Not because of the black community, because it's too dangerous for me to be out walking unaccompanied. So what I'm doing now is trying to keep in touch with as many of my black constituents and letting people know that I'm available. I'm available. It's a reason why I got involved in politics in the first place. Not a joke. Not a joke. Everybody deserves a shot.
Yeah. He said he can't reach out to the black people like he used to because he can't get to the projects like he used to. He said because it's too dangerous. Yep. JJ is right down the street. I was just talking to Miss Evans the other day. How you doing, Miss Evans? She wanted to tell all y'all, hey, how you doing? Florida Evans said she tired, y'all. That's what she wanted to say. And because she's about a few doors down from me. I know I got some of y'all down there. For the rest of y'all in the chat, I know y'all somewhere in the building, okay? Or maybe you in the other projects across MLK Boulevard. Yeah, that's what's going on. So we're all in the projects. And, you know, he can't get to us. And so that's the reason why he wasn't able to get to black folks. That's the only reason why, because this whole thing called the internet, the whole thing called computers, and, you know, we don't have that. You know, we don't have that technology right now. We just using like Gilligan's Island. We're using coconuts and strings. That's what we're using right now when we want to communicate. Or we do clicking sounds and stuff. That's what we do. Gosh, man, and the thing that gets me is how these Negroes and Negresses are out here still defending this dude. And for people, again, if you're just coming in, if you automatically assume that I'm sitting up here saying, well, that's why we got to defend. And this is why we got to support Trump. Ain't nobody saying that. Trump just as bad. I'm telling you right now, Trump and this dude Vance, they get in there. I'm telling you right now, they're going to crank it all the way up. And what am I talking about? You may think I'm talking about, the anti-black stuff. Oh, no. They done past that now. They done past that. Ain't no anti-black. No, it's past that. Now it's about who's putting the money in their pockets. And that's what I want to talk about because, see, people don't want to go there. All right. You just want to make it black versus white. We past that right now. But I do want to, I have a video here. Someone put this, is this the video here? I'm not going to play all of it because this is way too long. Okay. But let me play this clip. Now, this is Kamala Harris. This is the Kamala Harris, y'all, the black woman, the first black woman.
You know, what can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
Yes.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
Yes.
What we can see, what we believe can be unburdened by what has been. What can be.
Yes.
Unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. Who we can be unburdened by who we have been. What can be unburdened by what has been. Where we can be unburdened by where we have been and unburdened by where we are right now. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What could be unburdened by what had been. What can be unburdened by what has 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 been.
Yes.
What can be unburdened.
Ooh, I feel them chords. I feel them chords in the background.
What has been believing in what can be. What can be unburdened by what has been.
Yeah. Oh, I feel it. I feel it. It's coming, y'all.
What has been. What can be unburdened
I feel
by
it.
what has been. What can be
unburdened
by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What could be unburdened by what had been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be.
It goes on, y'all. I can play. It's like 4-minute loop. It's a 4-minute loop, y'all. She keeps saying the same thing over and over again. And these political black women are going to come right on out here and try to tell you that that's right now. We got to come out there. We're going to have to support this woman. She done already said that she ain't trying to do nothing for black folks. She said that out of her own mouth. She said that out of her own masala mouth. She said that out of her own curry mouth. She said that. And don't even try to come to us and try to make it seem like, okay, she's a black woman. She's not. Her mom is Indian, from India, East Indian, right? Her dad is Jamaican, but he's not just Jamaican. He's of that high class Jamaican, He's of that higher class. That's who he is. So he wasn't trying to had nothing to do. And in fact, her dad already came out and acknowledged that he has some slave owners like in his, in his family. And, in that class, they're actually proud of that stuff. We did a whole video where we talked about in Jamaica, you have a class of Jews that actually run a lot of, what goes on in the affairs in Jamaica. This ain't some kind of like, oh, I'm making a conspiracy theory. No, someone went through and they showed who runs the papers, who runs this, who runs the banking. You wouldn't even think that, but there's a class of Jewish people in that country. They run a lot of what goes on in that country. The richest man in Haiti is a Jewish man. We got to start calling this stuff out for what it is. She is married to one, is she not? So we're going to call this, we got to call this stuff out. So this is one right here as we go into the, okay, thank you. Okay, so now we're going to start switching a little bit here. Okay, a little bit here because, see, you need to know what's really going on behind the scenes here. Okay, so this is J.D. Vance here. Let me see if I can find this video here now. J.D. Vance, he is vice president. He's been chosen, pun intended, to be Trump's vice VP pick. All right. And Trump has made it very, very clear that basically when he gets in office, he is going to go full throttle when it comes to, funding Israel and defending Israel and all of that. He made it very, very clear of that. Okay. That is language. If you want to know where things are going, you always keep your eye on the ball. Okay. Always keep your eye on the ball. And the ball in this case is Israel. And I don't have time to really go into the depths of that because it just takes a while to kind of, to take that apart so you can really understand. It's not some big mystery. This is something that's in your face. Okay. It's in your face. These people make it very clear what they're about, what they stand on, and that's it. And this is both sides of the aisle. It's not just one, it's both sides. So I'm getting near this video here because you don't see it on the screen right now, but I'm trying to pull this video up here of this is J.D. Vance on the evening I think it was during the RNC, or this was during the RNC when he was selected to be, when they made it official that he was going to be the vice president. So I'm trying to find this thing, doggone it. Oh, here it is. So this was at the, sorry. Let me turn this volume down. So this is J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is in the middle of all this. You'll see clips of him right here. All right. So this is how the RNC decided to celebrate, him being picked and chosen, pun intended. Here it is right here. See, that's J.D. Vance on the left-hand side. Oh, they said not during the RNC. This was during the 20. Somehow you will. When really believe. Look at all the rabbis. They anointed this man.
Please join us in welcoming Senator J.D. Vance from the great state of Ohio.
Good evening, everybody. Wow. Well, I have so much to say, but first, let me offer a word of gratitude to Rabbi Margaretin. Am I getting that right?
There you go. There you go. That's one. And then I have another one. Oh, and then the other clip was the RNC. They took time to pray for the hostages, the Israeli hostages. This is them right now. They praying. Hold on.
And pray for freedom for the hostages kidnapped and held so cruelly against their will. Lord, please keep them in your sight and hasten the day of their freedom.
All right, there you go. Letting you know. And so don't get it twisted, because the Democrats likewise are taking boatloads of money. Hakeem Jeffries, I talked about that. That was a gentleman that I showed you earlier. Hakeem Jeffries, he is one. He receives this is a black man. I think he's congressman. He takes a boatload of money from Jewish organizations, Israeli organizations as well. So they play both sides, and this is something that you have to understand, is that when you listen to the language, at the end of the day, what's going to happen, and it looks like Trump for now, that's what it looks like for now, but you know, everything's all a toss-up right now. If Trump becomes president, they are going to turn up a lot of stuff that Israel has been doing. It's going to turn up. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out here. Let me, I'm just going through my videos here. Hold on. And, you know, this story here, you know, it's still evolving, y'all. So there's going to be a lot more stuff that's going to come out. So it's just good to kind of step back and just wait, you know, as things are coming out, because it's quite interesting here. Let me see. Let's see. Do I have anything? I'm trying to, as I'm looking for these video clips here. I'm trying to think if I have anything else, any articles and stuff that I can show you. Let me see. Let's see. Let me just, here we go. Okay. So just to give you an idea, I'm to set this video up for you, and then we'll get to it. So you guys have already known, we have been really going in and looking at this. What you have been noticing is that there is a worldwide pull and draw to get people under the Torah. Okay. Follow me on this. All right. Under Torah and under the Noahide laws. Okay. That's separate, but they do tie in. All right. The 10 Commandments is part of that. Okay. So you've been seeing, you know, in some of these states here, they're like, praise God, we are finally getting the 10 Commandments back into the schools, because once we put those magical words in the classrooms, all of a sudden now all the children are going to start acting proper again, as if that alone is going to make that change anybody. No, it's not. Well, you know, all of this happened, and when they took prayer out of school, that's when all of this stuff happened. That's another political thing that people like to say. No, all this quote unquote happens when the families start getting broken up. School had nothing to do with it. All school did was basically took advantage of what the homes weren't doing, because if the homes were on point, then the schools wouldn't be able to touch them. So let's stop blaming the public school system. Let's just shut that down right now. Public school system doesn't have any blame on this. The public school system, they see an advantage. They see a way that they can target. children that aren't being taken care of in a home, and they said, okay, well, let's exploit it. That's all that's happening. That's what's happening right now. So anyway, so what you're seeing right now, and we've also pointed out the laws that they have in place right now in multiple states throughout the country. I even showed you the maps. Many states. I think it's over 20 states right now throughout the country. If you live in any of these states, if you dare say anything negative toward about Zionism, about Israel, they will, and you just happen to be a contractor of the state, they will shut you down. You will get, your contract will get pulled. In states like Texas, if you're on a college campus and you are caught saying anything negative about the state of Israel, they can likewise kick you off. They can end your whole tenure or whatever. They can end it right there on the spot if you're a student. See, this is the southpaw that that the Republicans are bringing. See, looking at the Democrats and they all whatever, but the Republicans, see, they want you to focus on one little thing. Oh, it's Project 2025. We already explained what 2025 was. It's just more of the stuff. It's just coming from a different side. It's more the same. Okay. So you got to think beyond just, oh, they're going to bring Jim Crow back. Oh, they're going to do. See, that only works with people in the 55 on up. Okay. The 55 on up, they only get moved by that. Anybody below that, they're like, hey, ain't nobody. What you talking about? Jim? Well, who? What are you talking about? What team does he play for? Nobody know. They can't relate. This generation can't relate, but the mo folks can. Older people, they can, because it touches something that perhaps they experience. And so these people, they care. They have such a disdain for their own people so much. They will reach back into your pain of things that you experience to try to bring it back up again in your face and say, okay, now, do you want more lynchings? Okay, do you want more of this? Do you want more lunch counters? Do you want all that? They bring all that up to you. Ain't that something? That's what an abuser does that. Okay, now that's like me going to my never happened, and they can give account of that, okay? But this never happened. I won't even use myself. I'll use somebody else. Okay. So if you, let's say, are a parent, and let's say you just wore the leather off of your children's behind. Okay. Again, I never did that. Okay. I never did that. But I'm just saying, just say you are the one, or me. I don't care. It don't really matter. Okay. But let's say you just went off and you know what you did. It was illegal. I mean, you definitely crossed the line. It's like, oh snap, why did I do that? I know they spilled that water, but man, it wasn't that bad. But you just went off, right? And then you realize, oh snap, I messed up. You go to your children, you acknowledge, hey, I screwed up. I shouldn't have done that, right? But then they get older. Okay, so now they're in their 20s and their 30s or whatever. And it's like you coming back to them, but it was very traumatic for them. I mean, obviously it was very traumatic. Very, very traumatic, right? And it's like you going back to them, and now they're in their 30s and saying, now, you remember that time when I wore the leather off of your behind? You better watch. You're bringing up trauma that they went through as children. You understand what I'm saying? To motivate them to do something. And that's why I said I don't have any sympathy for any of these people dropping. I don't. Bye. Go. You should have been gone. You understand what I'm saying? You should have been gone. Because it's that generation, that stock of Negro is the very ones that keep doing this to our older population over and over and over again. They keep pulling this stuff up to try to scare our elders into doing stuff, to making these decisions on stuff, right? So anyway, that's all of that right there. But here's where I was really trying to go with that. I don't know how I got off on that, but here's what I was really trying to go with this. The powers that shouldn't be that are behind both of these parties here. When you look at law, when you talk about the Noahide laws, there's many, you just look that up, the Noahide laws, what they are, how they're being implemented. Do you understand that Noahide laws, these are, based in Judaism, these are laws that are being also infused in our court system today. Maybe one day I'll do a video on that. I'm talking about in our court system, in our current court system today, you will find traces of the Noahide laws already in there, infiltrated, already in there. Okay. And so That's why it's important for you as an individual to be very aware of these individuals, their history, what they're about, what their goals are. It's very important for you to be be one that investigates. I want you to listen to me. Okay? You need to investigate. You need to read. You got to ask questions. But the thing that we're dealing with right now is that there's far too many of our people who are enamored with them. So much so they want to dress like them. They want to use their words. They want to claim their history. They want to fight with them and say, no, we're the real Jews. No, we're the, all of that. And you're just so enamored with these people. And so because you're so enamored with them, you miss all of this stuff. And it's all falling together. So for those in the Hebrew world, you're just going right along with the plan. We on this platform, we've done several times where we have showed you how the Hebrew Israelite movement, the financial boost of the Hebrew movement in Harlem going back to the early 1900s. Guess where it came from? It came from Jews that were living in Harlem, in places like Bed-Stuy and Brooklyn. We've talked about this. This is the foundation of your belief system. And so that's why I showed you just, what was it, yesterday? Let me pull this post up here, because I want you to see how all of this connects. And I understand sometimes you just got to go slow, and that's not an insult to anybody. Trust me. I know for some people, this is a lot of information to take in. I get it. I understand, but you still need to understand. All right. And so right here, and then I'm gonna show you this clip, and then pretty soon we're getting to our break here in just a moment here. All right. So let me show you this here. This was on our post the other day. All right. So again, this is the foundation. Like this is the earliest, one of the earliest Hebrew Israelite what you want to call organizations. All right. This is one of them, one of the main ones. Beth Shalom Benai Zakin Ethiopian Hebrew Congregation. Chicago and New York were the basis of the Hebrew Israelite movement. So read it. So this is what it says here. In one of the most important speeches of his career, Fournier asked the Israelites to reach out to the other Jews, embrace the inclusion of female rabbis, develop their own halakha or set of religious laws, and support the state of Israel. This is a direct quote from him, according to forward.com. This was an article back in 2016. All right. He says, we must be staunch supporters of the state of Israel. Let me say that again. He said, this is Hebrew Israelite history now. See, you can't duck and dive from this. You can't duck and dive with this. That's why when I did that video the other day, what was it, Friday? I said, call in. Let's talk. Let's go. Ain't now one comment yet. Now one. Because once you present the fact, there's nothing to say. We must be staunch supporters of the state of Israel. Fournier said, and he spoke out strongly against boycott, divestment, and sanctions, saying Israelites must be up and out against the worldwide movement to delegitimize the state of Israel through the BDS network. This is the foundation of what you believe. Now, there are factions of the Hebrew Israelite movement that don't necessarily agree with this. However, this is still part of your foundation. Why? Because you're talking like them. Your foundation is their book, the Torah. Why the hell would you still want to still be like these people? When you start looking at the policies that they're pushing, why would you want to be like them? And then we talked about this article here where we broke it down even more. Here you got Black American families. This family has been in Brooklyn for years. The house that they own, it was built in the late 1800s, but they bought it like in 1940. In short, what happened, and like I said, if you haven't read this story, You need to read it. You need to read this thing. What basically happened in a nutshell is that they have laws where these that someone, okay, so this family was in this house and you have generations that were living in there, right? So this is a mother and daughter, they live in there, right? And so basically what happened was that an investor, last name Zucker, okay, and you know where he's from, basically took advantage of a law that allows him to identify family members that have a tie to the house, a legal tie to the house, but maybe they're not speaking to one another. This is how vulture they operate. So this guy, this investor, tracked down this family member who happened, he wasn't living in New York. They say he was all the way in Australia somewhere. The family, what you see right here, they said they didn't know where the heck he was. But this investor knew where he was. He was able to track down where this family member was. Now, mind you, again, these black folks, they were, you know, because of family, whatever, they weren't talking to one another or whatever. So they didn't know, they lost track. But this Jewish investor, he was able to track them down and was able to work out a deal with this family member and say, hey, listen, I'm interested in purchasing this home. How much are you willing to sell your portion or your share of this home? I'm going to drop $300,000 into your account right now. Basically, I'll give you the money. You just sell me your share. And what did the family member do? 300,000. Well, I'll do that. And he sure did. So now what you see, this beautiful women that you see on the screen right now, they're right now in a fight for their life to keep their home. So literally in the same town, you got black folks that are pretending to be like these folks. These same folks are taking away our homes. And it doesn't stop here. This is happening all over in the South. Take a look at Blackstone. Who runs Blackstone? Blackstone is doing this all over the country, where they literally are forcing people out of their homes and turning them into rentals. But we're supposed to overlook this. And the reason why it gets overlooked is because when it comes to the details, we don't look at them. Black folks don't try to look at the details. We don't. Many black folks, they just are motivated by emotion. It's the emotion. Make the emotional appeal, and that's it. But when you start telling black folks, hey, let's put these pieces together. Let's start putting these pieces together. This ain't adding up. They don't want to hear it. So I want you to hear how these people that some of y'all are still trying to be like, I want you to hear how they see you. All right. So here's a clip here of this. And I want you to listen. This is Rabbi number one. Listen to it.
Now, it happens to be that Jewish law permits the enslavement of any non-Jew, white or black. That's another question which got raised. But that has nothing to do with racism. That's just a heter that we are allowed to enslave non-Jewish populations, perhaps to bring them to mitzvos, bring them to Torah and the like, but it's not a black thing for sure.
All right, back up. I want you to make sure you're hearing this because, see, for some of y'all, you just ain't catching on. All right, let me play it again. Again, this is the people that some of our people are trying to be like, singing and dancing to in Israel.
Now, it happens to be that Jewish law permits the enslavement of any non-Jew, white or black. That's another question which got raised. But that has nothing to do with racism. That's just a heter that we are allowed to enslave non-Jewish populations, perhaps to bring them to mitzvos, bring them to Torah and the like. But it's
there you go. I told you I'm gonna pull up as many receipts as possible to get folks, because at the end of this, if you still are trying to be like these people, then you deserve everything you get at that point. At that point, you just everything you get. I had one other clip here, and then I think we're going to wind it down. Then we're going to go to our break here. Let me see here if I can find it. Because you got to understand what you're dealing with. Okay, not that one. Let me see. I have another one here. Oh, here we go. Okay. And here's another one here. This is another rabbi I want you to hear. Now, this clip is about 3 minutes long, so I want you to hear what he has to say on this, okay? So take a listen and let's go, all right? Take a listen.
In the world, they don't exactly... The people in the world, they don't exactly know what's the reason for it, but feeling bad towards Jews is something natural. It's embedded in nature. No one can do anything about it. But it's something that truly comes from the very foundation of the world. That Jews are that group that bear inside them the plan and the program for the correction of the world. There are people that are born with an anti-Semitic feeling. They hate Jews. They don't know why, what for, where does it come from, but they can't stand them. The reason for anti-Semitism doesn't exist on the level of this world. It's something much deeper, spiritual. We used to be on a spiritual degree and we fell from it to the corporeal level. And the impression from that spiritual degree is left in us. And therefore, to this day, we're successful in different fields. And this is why we're hated. Because we bear inside us an impression from the upper world. For many years I lived and actually grew up among non-Jews, and this is what I heard from them, that you're smart people, more successful than we are. Meaning, there's this kind of appreciation, a feeling of being lesser because I'm not a Jew. This is a subconscious feeling that exists in most of the people in the world. Where does this thought that the Jews are conspiring to take control of the world come to the nations of the world from? From this fact that in the people of Israel exists the method for the correction of the world. And this method, it eventually has to spread to the entire world, to all nations, for them to use this method and bring the world to a good, whole, and perfect state. The nations of the world, they feel it internally on the biological level. They don't even know where does it come from, but they feel that they're dependent on the Jews. They feel that there's something about the Jews that makes them superior to them, that they have a kind of secret that they're hiding from everyone, from the world. They have a method for the correction of the world, and they're probably waiting for a time when they can sell it for the highest price, that they'll be able to control the world by it. This is a natural thought that awakens in all nations. They started feeling it not long after the destruction of the temple. And this is something that won't go away until we will disseminate the method of correction to the rest of the world, that will completely open ourselves and explain to ourselves and the world the state that we and the world are in.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is out of their own mouths. This is how they view their agenda. Okay, so the YouTube people or whatever, the, you know, gods or whatever, you want to get mad, I always go straight to the source. I go straight to the source and let them tell on themselves. Okay, so that's them saying it. That's not me saying it. That is them saying it. Okay, and how what their world view is. Okay, so this is why you are not going to win as an individual in this system if you are trying to be like these people in any way, shape, or form. Can you imagine you are in a real war? Let's say you're in a war against the blue team and you're the red team. I don't care the colors, the green and the purple, or just say green and the purple, right? So you're on the green team, you're fighting against the purple team. So you got your crew together, right? You got your little battalion together and all y'all got your green on, right? And we're like, okay, we're going to do this. And then you got a couple of fools behind you wearing purple, and they're like, hey, we just gonna go. We going to war too, child. We going over there too. And they're wearing purple. So I'm sitting up here like, whoa, wait a minute. We green over here. What you doing with purple on? Well, I'm just trying to be, because really, we're the purple people. We're really the purple people at the end of the day. We're the purple people. Okay, but no, today we're green. And the purple people, we got to deal with that. So right now, you in our line of fire, so you need to go. You understand what I'm saying? You need to get away from here. That's exactly what you see happening today. And so what this system, I told you, is a Judaic-based system that we're in right now. We call it the Matrix, but the Matrix itself is based off of Judaism. They tell you this all the time. They tell you this in a movie like The Matrix. They tell you this in the Star Wars series. The whole entire Star Wars series is based off of, you hear this thing about the Force. What does the Force supposed to represent? If you read it, they'll tell you themselves that, yes, we pulled inspiration from Judaism. When you talk about the Force is the Shekinah. Okay, it's the Ruach HaKodesh. That's the Force. It's the she part of God. That's what they say. Okay, that's what they say. So the she part of God has got his own little flavor. And also, when you're dealing with Judaism, when you're dealing with like the Shekinah, not the Shekinah, but the Ruach of, their God, the spirit of their God, he can be evil or good. When you read through Jewish literature, they will tell you that good and evil originates from their deity, from their God. When you read their stuff, that's the problem. Many of our people don't read it. You're just so caught up with these ashy Negroes out here that want, well, guess what? He black, and guess what? Paul's black, and guess what? Moses is black, and you just that's about as far you go into reading about anything. But when you read the actual literature and its origins and what they're really saying, they will tell you. We even talked about, I think we did a video about what you call it, the word shalom, what the word shalom actually means. The word shalom means that there's an agreement with good and evil that comes together to be at peace. That's what the word shalom actually means. That's what it comes from. That's not me making that up. We talked about that, and we showed you in their literature what their definition of it. Meanwhile, y'all be rolling up in the chat like, shalom, everybody. And you don't even know what the heck you're saying. You don't even know that there's an agreement between good and evil to come at a place of peace. But I thought you was just quoting the other day in your devotions that what fellowship does light have with darkness? I thought that's what your Bible said. But see, you just repeat stuff and don't even ask because you don't read. Ain't that something? So you're going to so in this phase of where we are right now, you're going to have to start taking these things extremely seriously. And this is not the time to play Halloween dress up and cosplaying these people. No, they are telling you. So in this part of the broadcast so far, what I've shown you is number one, okay, you see these mammies and coons and whatever out here, they just falling apart right now. So we shared some laughs with that. So we got you. We talked about that. Then we said, okay, let's pull the curtain back a little bit. Let's see who's really behind this. Who the money people who are making the decisions to tell Biden, you need to hit the road, Jack. Okay. There's big money that's behind that for Biden making that decision. Okay. And then maybe I'll do a post and I'll show you. We'll do, once as that information comes out, we'll show you that. But a lot of that big money comes from these people. All right. And we talked about their money that's huge behind Trump right now. Huge. He's got a huge bankroll of money coming from them. And he's made it very clear. That is the agenda. Okay. 1,400 black women coming together to sign up. You ain't doing nothing. 1,400 black men coming together signing something. That ain't doing nothing. That's fake power. It doesn't do anything. DC don't care about that. Do you think they were like, Sheila Jackson Lee, God, we're going to have to do this for Sheila Jackson Lee. We're going to have to save Uncle Joe for Sheila Jackson Lee because that was her last thing. They said, okay, really? Oh. Anyway, bye. Okay, so how much money we got here? How many billions we got? Okay, let's move that money over there. That they moved the money over with the program. They just moved. Oh, this is her. Oh, this is her program for her funeral. Oh, really? Oh, okay, really? Okay, where the checks at? Okay, give me them checks. Okay, Israel, what you want us to do? Okay, let's move. That's how they work. This is how politics works. Okay, that's how politics works at the end of the day. So we'll be keeping our eyes on this, and we're gonna, we'll be following this whole story here. But this right here, we're showing this is what all this stuff is connected. All of it is connected. Who the real people are pulling the strings and all of that. It's no mystery. They're telling you out of their own words what this thing is all about. And black folks have to be people, have to be individuals that care enough about yourself where you're willing to do this type of investigation and ask these questions. Because if you don't, you're going to end up, in an early grave for real. I mean, this is where we are right now for real. So anyway, I think that's it. I think we kind of covered that whole topic here. Went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but that's okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take a short break and then get myself together. Then we're going to talk about very briefly some brand new things that are coming to Samba Tree. We got some very exciting things coming on Samba Tree. I'll tell you about these in a moment, okay? And then when we come back, I promise you that second segment where we're talking about how to protect yourself from these what you call promised land scams out here. We're going to get into that as well. That one won't be as long because trust me, there's not really a whole big list to talk about. It's just just a couple of simple questions to ask. And then that's it. So what I'm going to do right now, let's take a short break. Let me get some music going on here. And then, like I said, when we come back, we'll get into some of that other just give me about a few minutes and then we'll have some Samba Tree stuff up here and we'll talk about that. Okay. So let me get this music up and where is it? Let's go. All right, thanks again for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys being here with us today. And so like I said, we're going to get into very briefly some brand new products, exciting products that we're going to be introducing over on Sombertree. Again, it's sombertree.com, and we're going to talk about that. Let's see what someone say here. My brother here, he said, shout out to Dwayne, my crypto portfolio is up 35%. I took action when you mentioned it a couple years back. Go ahead, bro. 35% up. And remember, we told people our thing when we talked about crypto, when we were talking about it at that time, we weren't telling people, okay, invest in this and that and that. We don't do that. Okay, we never did that. But we just said, hey, listen, here's some basics of crypto. If you don't know anything about crypto, we'll just cover just the basics of what is it, how can you, that kind of thing. We just covered just the basics of it and left it up to people on what you want to do, what to use and platforms and things like that. And that's it. So yeah, good to see that. Good to see that. Yeah, I got my crypto meter up right now. Looks like a lot of things are up right now. So that's good. So thanks, Reggie, for sharing that. Really appreciate that. Let's see. So let's talk briefly about Sombertree. Again, we have a website. Our store is sombertree.com, where we sell a lot of natural products and stuff like that. My wife and I, we started it because this was our answer to a lot of things that we were coming across. A lot of people are sick, people, untimely deaths and all this other stuff. And and so just got tired of hearing that. And so we said, what can we do? So we came up with this store, sombertree.com, and we sell a whole bunch of things on there. But instead of pulling up the site, what I want to do is pull up this right here. These are the brand new things that we have going on here. So I'll just briefly go over it, and then I'll come back, and then I will go over the details. Okay, so she said these three new products are game changers. We got the Sombertree Hand Armor EMF protection gloves, and then a lot of info here that talks about that. We're going to come back to this in a moment. Number two, we have the Sombertree router sleeve. Again, that protects you from the EMF radiation. That's number two. And then number three, we got, now when we get into more of the body care, we have the Jamaican Black Castor Oil Organic Shampoo. Wow. Check that out. Boosts scalp blood circulation, deep penetration, strengthens hair fibers, repairs weak strands, and eases detangling to minimize combing damage. This is all like 100%. Look at the ingredients here. Jamaican black castor oil, hemp oil, apple cider vinegar, coconut water, raw honey, clove, sage, rose water, olive oil, horsetail aloe gel, tea tree oil, eucalyptus oil, nettle, five-fold lemon oil, orange peel, burdock root, vegetable glycerin, flaxseed gel, activated charcoal, black seed oil. Come on now. I mean, there ain't nothing in there that's off, is it? Ain't no man-made foolishness that is in there. Look at that. Then we got the Jamaican Black Castor Oil Enriched Hair Conditioner. And then there's all the ingredients there. Okay, you can go into that. Okay, so let's start from the beginning here. And I actually had the gloves right here on my screen here. So there are numbers of people out there, as people more and more are using, these devices out here. Like, for example, I'm on a Mac, so I have this Bluetooth, kind of what you call it, mouse pad. They call it a magic pad. Then I got this keyboard too, that's wireless as well. And so between that and being on these cell phones, I know with my wife, when it comes to handling the phone or something like that, it's very difficult. It's be a big of a challenge for her, because she can really feel that EMF. It really bothers her. It really, really bothers her. And so she was trying to find a solution for that. And what can she do when she's doing extensive work on the cell phone, or she's doing extensive work on the computer? So she was looking for a solution, and she found one. And so it's these EMF gloves. And so she noticed immediately when she started wearing this, immediate results. Okay. And so I'm using my mouse right now on my computer, and it's moving along just fine. Because that's one of my biggest concerns was if you use these gloves, is it going to be, is it going to interfere with how I do things on my phone? And no, it's not. Like I'm scrolling. You can't see it. Well, maybe let me switch it up here so you can see it. Okay. So this is my mouse. You can kind of sort of see it, right? Maybe. Okay. So I'm going to scroll. See, I'm scrolling. I got the gloves on right now. And let me see, make it bigger. So the pinch, that works. So it works. Look at that. So yeah. So, and the same thing goes with the cell phone. All right. If you're wearing it and you on your cell phone, you can, it move along, press buttons. If your hands are really bothered by the EMF, if you notice like, man, my hands, every time I get on my phone, I've been noticing that my hands been hurting, lately. I just thought it was just a coincidence. No, it's actually the EMF. These things put out a lot of EMF. And what this does, it actually cuts that down tremendously so that you don't feel that. And so these are the gloves right here. You can see how easily they feel. Me personally, I don't really have that issue. My wife does. And so this is why you'll see her all the time. I see her when she's on that computer, man, she's got these on and she hasn't complained since. And so this is something she's been wearing for a long time and it's been working quite well. And so same thing on the keyboard, does the same thing. So she's been fine with that. I don't have in front of me is going back here. Maybe I'll post some pictures up at some point. If you have a router if you have a router and you put the sleeve on top of the router, and it show you step-by-step instructions how to put it on. It's really easy to put on. It doesn't block the signal where you can't get on if you're using it. If it's a wireless router, it's not going to block the signal where you ain't going to be able to do anything. You'll still be able to surf and all of that and access the internet. It's just the EMF, they're able to kind of reduce that. So that's a good thing. Okay. And in this email that we just sent out to everybody on the email list, it breaks it down and tells you all of that, right? She's got some links on here of, with the glove, without the glove. Someone did the test on it to show you and all of that stuff here. So yeah, so I just wanted to show you that this is what we got added to sombertree.com. I'll just bring the page up for those who aren't familiar with it. It's right here. And already got it on the front page right there and all the brand new stuff there, along with a lot of other stuff. If you just take the time, again, go to the website, sombertree.com, and you'll see all the wonderful products that we have, from teas to powders to drinks and all kinds of wonderful stuff. So again, the website, one more time, is sombertree.com. All right. So there you go. You can go ahead and check that out when you get a chance. All right. So there you go. Let's get quickly to our other topic here, because I don't want to keep you all too much longer here. Let me I have talked about the history. I'll just briefly go through some historical points with you, just as examples. When you go back to the early stage of, at least in the Hebrew movement, there are examples where if you go back to, let's say, in Harlem, and this is the commandment keepers, and then then you had some other groups there, but really the commandment keepers, part of their belief system was that they believed that Ethiopia was in fact part of the promised land. They believed that Ethiopians they believe that Ethiopians are part of, they're Jews, but they're just part of the Jewish. In other words, they don't believe that Ethiopians replace the Jews. They believe that they're part of them by way of Solomon and Queen of Sheba. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so they even went as far as saying, hey, listen, we want to, start migrating over there. And you had some that actually did. They moved over to Ethiopia. Some stayed, others did not, and so that really began this whole trend within the Hebrew space that, black people need to start looking elsewhere under a biblical, and using the Bible as some type of like a mandate, to do this. I posted something on our community page the other day. Let me see here. Sorry, YouTube. Oh yeah, and then go. Never mind. Let me see your channel. Okay, let's go to community page. All right. I posted this the other day on our community page, and kind of can go along with this. Like I said, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with this. Rabbi David Hill, he led people. This is another Hebrew Israelite. He led a group of people down to Guyana. As you know, Guyana, this was 2 years before Jim Jones got down there. Jim Jones, of course, that was an op. I also believe that Rabbi David Hill was also working with the CIA as well, even though it's not like really clear cut, but there was far too much CIA activity going on in Guyana at that time for him not to be part of it. And he was actually, Rabbi David Hill was actually working with the Guyanian government to, basically they were the Hebrew Israelites were actually the muscle for that government down there. And they were, anybody opposing the government, the Hebrew Israelites were working with the government to suppress anybody trying to rise up. See, this is, these Negroes spend hours and hours and hours going over scriptures, law, statutes, and commandments and stuff, but see, they leave out the history. See, you got to widen your scope and look at the actual history. And this is part of the history here. So Guyana, 2 years before Jim Jones. These other individuals, let's see, Ben Amin, Ben Israel. This is the guy that said that he was under mandate to bring black people, this is out of Chicago, to bring them out of Chicago to go to the promised land. But the promised land at first was Liberia. So they went to Liberia. I had a clip here, but I'm just, like I said, I'm just going to tell you, but I have the video clips here of them actually explaining this. They went to Liberia. They stayed there for about 2 years. And they realized, man, basically they couldn't survive in Liberia because when they got to Liberia, they were living in the bush. And so, which is like the woods, out for us, here in the West. They were living, and it was very harsh for them. And there was a lot of complaints of people were getting sick and all of that. And so basically they said, all right, we're going to have to pull up out of here. And it was able to gain entry into Israel, into the state of Israel. And so they believe that what we call the state of Israel is, in fact, the promised land for African Americans. That's what they teach. That's what they believe. All right. And so in the recent post that we did, we talked about this promised land right here. We talked about it in this post right here. They're living currently, they're not just only in Dimona, but the home base, if you will, is in Dimona, Israel. When you look at Dimona, Israel on the map, it's in the southern part of Israel. It's about 8 miles away from a nuclear plant, and not just any nuclear plant. This is the nuclear plant that's used for Israel, largely believed for them to make weapons. So they're 8 miles away. We've talked about how they even have a layout of not if, but when, for the most part, when this plant gets struck by Iran or whatever, that these folks, for the most part, are going to be first to go. So these Jewish people place them in probably one of the worst positions strategically, but yet these people seem like they don't even care about that. They've been there for many, many years. They've been there since the 70s. And they're like, hey, listen, nothing's happened yet, but, Israel just got struck the other day. But anyway, but one of my points, I was like, who in their right mind would move a bunch of people that you claim that you love to live 8 miles away from a nuclear power plant in the Middle East? Like, that makes no sense, right? So this group as well is another group that's like trying to push people, hey, listen, we had to leave America because America's Babylon, blah, 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 whatever. So today you even, so all on YouTube, you will have different Hebrews that will make the same claim that, hey, America's falling. Yay, America's falling. Yay, it's falling. It's doomed, destruction, blah, blah, blah. and it's falling, and some people is like, okay, I'm in America right now. Of course I don't like the system, but dang, what's going to happen to me? Well, one day he's just going to scoop you up, it's the rapture doctrine remix. That's basically what that is. Then we talked about this individual right here, and he's the latest on this, talking about, he believes that, he's not saying it directly, but he's definitely playing the role of a Moses type, who believes that basically his mandate is to call many black people in America to come to South Africa, because America is falling and you need to get out of here, and you need to come over to Africa where it's nice and safe and you'll be protected. Okay. So that's what he's claiming. And so then you got others out there too. There are other little stories that have taken place. Like I said, but I didn't want to spend too much, because we've talked about these examples many, many times. I'm just trying to cut to the point, but I just want to give you kind of an overview. And so anyway, so there, as you know, right now, there's a lot of talk. And even outside of the religious space, you have people that are saying, listen, you got to leave America because America's bad, evil, wicked, or whatever. And as I've said many, many times before, listen, if you want to leave America, that's up to you, but make sure you do your research, make sure you investigate, make sure you are talking to people who have a wealth of experience, real experience in that area of relocating and all of that stuff. As long as you do all of that, you do your homework like anybody else would, you should go wherever you want to go. You know what I'm saying? You should feel free to do so. But never, like I said at the beginning, never make a decision based off of fear. Never, ever, ever do that, right? And even here, you got some people who may not be necessarily saying you need to leave America. There's some people saying, well, child, we need to get together and we need to put our money together and we need to start buying some land. Okay, that sounds like a great idea. Okay. But here's the thing. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. All right. Hey, I see Uncle Reggie. He became a member. Really appreciate that. Thank you, sir. That reminds me again, we have a research group that we have on Threema. And what we do is I share with you all kinds of stuff, not just me, but there's other people. It's an open group. Make sure, Uncle Reggie, that you reach out to me on Threema, okay? Because I have some videos on there that will show you how to connect with us on Threema. You get access to a library that has over 200 books, books that you can download, and that's for you to do your own research on things. From time to time, I'm sharing notes, videos. We have some very good discussions on just our own personal discoveries and our own journey and all of that. And no, I ain't like no pastor in there and all the little folks listen to me. It's not like that at all. We try to have it nice and open, and we're sharing our information, pulling it together as we're kind of, at this stage right now where we're asking a bunch of questions. So if you want more information on that, go to the front of the page, the YouTube page. There's a link for that. Click on that. And there you go. You can go with that. Okay. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying again, appreciate that, bro. So we're in an age right now where a lot of people want to run and escape. Okay. Oh, that's what I was saying. You have people who are even here in the States are saying, we're not necessarily looking at going outside of the country, but let's pull our money together here locally and let's buy some land. Okay. You want to do that? That's fine. But let me just kind of give you, for those of you who are thinking about any of these things, this is just some basic general advice that I would give you. Okay. It's free of charge. Okay. But here's some things. Number one, I would never move based off of or for religious reasons. I would never do that. You never make a major decision just off of religious beliefs. I don't care what religion you embrace, but you never do that. Because one thing about religion is that it can be interpreted in a number of ways. Like, in other words, you may read a scripture and it says, see, this scripture is telling me that I need to move to California. You know what I mean? And it's like, wait a minute, but this scripture says the wages of sin is death. How'd you get that out of, you know what I mean? So it can be interpreted in numerous ways. You know what I mean? And so you never want to make a decision based off of religion. You never want to do that. Okay. You want to, if you're going to move, you want to make a decision based off of family need or, you know, or maybe even a desire, you know what I'm saying? Just to live. You want to live. You like living in a climate with warmer weather, or you like living in an area that's cold or whatever. It don't matter, you know, but don't use religion as a way to justify it. You still got to do your homework. You still got to do your research. You still got to do all of that. Okay. So that's one thing. So never make a decision to move based off religion. And secondly, I would guess to add to that, never make a decision to move based off of fear. Okay. That just goes without saying. That kind of goes along with that. Now let's get into some of the details here. If someone is proposing to you, hey, listen, we need to come together and we need to put our money together. I just was looking through eBay or whatever, and man, someone is selling like 1,000 acres of land out here in Arizona. Well, all they want is like $8,000. $8,000 for 1,000 acres of land. Man, come on, black people, look, we can put our money to this and we can put our money to that, you know, but we can't put our money together to buy land. Come on, y'all. And then they start going into this whole thing where they starting to shame you into giving to this dream that's in their head. Okay. Now, let me kind of tell you how I would do things. Okay. Okay. Just sharing how I would do things. Now, if I had an idea like, hey man, we got all these nice people in the chat. Wouldn't it be nice if we just bought some land and then, you know, we can start building whatever we want on there? Wouldn't that be nice, man? That would be nice. That'd be cool. Right. No, what you need to do is this. If I, as an individual, wanted to buy land and I had a vision to, you know, on that land to parse it out so everyone has their own piece of land, the number one mistake is pitching it to people in dream state. In other words, if you're still at the dream stage, it needs to stay there. Okay. It needs to stay there. I'm not pitching a dream to you and saying, fund my dream. No, you don't do that. A real investor doesn't do that. What you do is that if I really felt passionate about this 1,000 acres, I need to buy that 1,000 acres myself. Okay. Let me say that again. I need to buy that 1,000 acres myself out of either my own money or with the money of people that I personally know and have a long history of working together with. And that excludes about 90+% of y'all in the chat. Okay. So I'm not going to go to you and a drummer praise some of these other people and say, hey, listen, send me money because I got a dream about this. I'm not doing that. No. So, and if I, as an investor, that means that immediately, guess who the buck stops with ultimately? It's the pressure is on me. It's ultimately on me. It's not on you. See, there's certain things, and that's what I'm talking you through, that need steps that need to take place before I approach you with anything. But all those steps, it's putting more pressure on me, and that's what it's supposed to be. Because that way, so anyway, let me keep on. So I need to go ahead and buy that land first. It needs to be bought out completely. All right. And I need to also have the maturity enough to say, hey, listen, this is my dream. I see getting 1,000 acres and we can do this, that, or whatever on it. Right. But let's say once I realize it, I'm like, I look at the final price tag. I'm like, oh, snap, I can't afford that. So I can say, okay, this is my dream. This is what I like to see. I want to see all these people on it, but I really can't afford it. Okay. So I've reached out to any, my close people. We really are coming up dry. So what I need to do is scale that down to something that's a little more manageable. It's going to stretch me a little bit, but something that's a little more manageable. And so then you need to invest in what you can handle, right? Me as the initiator, I need to invest in what I can handle. Still holding on to that dream, but invest in what I handle. All right. So once I do that, Then as a landowner, what's the next step? When you buy land, you want to build houses on it. So that means that you got to get things graded. You got to get people to go in and see what's on that land. Is it where I can build things and versus where I can't build things? Is there water? Are there chemical? You know, all the nine. So I'm paying for all of that. All of that. I'm doing all the research on that land. So I know exactly what's on that land, the whole nine. I'm doing all of that, right? I'm also familiar with the surrounding properties in the area. All right. So it's taking me time to do that. The next thing I'm doing is, of course, obviously, I want to live on the land. Still holding on to this dream in the back of my head, but I want to live on that land, and I have a vision to see other people live on the land as well. So what do I need to do? I need to come to y'all, right, and get the money? No, absolutely not. I need to lead by example. So now the land, the pressure of maintaining and owning that land is on my shoulders. And now I have to produce results. What's the results? I need to start building on that land. So that means I need to have my house and whatever. If my little small investment group, if they want to build on it, they can do it too. And so now we're building on the property. We're living on the property. And now we have spent, let's say we gave ourselves 3 to 5 years to actually live on the property and to have the experience of living on the property and being very familiar with. So now we have a solid anchor. You understand what I'm saying? So after all that's being said, and every year we have demonstrated we have no problem in paying the taxes on it and all that stuff. So now I can say, ta-da, let me go to the chat group. Now let me tell people, hey, listen, I got 1,000. Well, I had to bring it down. I got like 800 acres now. I have 800 acres of land. This is my vision. Now, it's not just my vision, but it's already, you can walk in my vision. You can see what I have already done. See, what these people are doing right now is that they're selling you a bill of goods. In other words, they're just selling you a wish list of things they would like to see. That's garbage. They ain't doing nothing for you. When I go buy a house, like around here, they're doing all kinds of building where we live. When I want to buy a new house, now initially they will have a little blueprint up there so you can see, okay, well, this is where the pool's going to be. This is where the playground's going to be. This, where that, or whatever, right? So you see all that. And you're like, okay, cool. Okay, all right, that's nice or whatever. But, they'll start off with a trailer. Well, honey, listen, give them about a month or two. They already going to have a row of houses there that you can walk through and see, oh, snap, okay, this is what it's going to look like, all that, right? Now, you think about all these Negroes out here that have been pitching you these ideas about you need to go to the promised land. They don't even own a blade of grass, and they trying to get you to send money to them. And here's the other thing, but the last individual I was talking about, how long they been in Africa? This gentleman is moved to Africa and haven't been there even that long and already collecting money from people, Black Americans, to buy land over there. What? Or to buy property. Is anybody asking, well, how long you been there? Who you work? Those kind of questions. You understand what do you own land? Well, no, but he does. What? I can't tell you the amount of stories, horror stories that I've heard of individuals, Black Americans that have gone to Africa, bought land, and they say, you know what, I'll be right back. I still got some affairs back in the States I need to take care of. They come back, that land gone. It's still there, but they don't own it anymore, because you have certain places where they'll sell it to you, but then all of a sudden they want to kick in the ancestor clause or whatever, that any ancestor can come back and take over. They'll do some stuff like that. You know what I mean? And so the laws and how they do things in some of these other countries, you have to be very familiar with that stuff. You know what I mean? You can't just jump into something just because you're being scared into it. You understand what I'm saying? So whomever, I don't care who it is, if they are trying to sell you a dream, make sure they're living in their dream has manifested first. Because if they have not manifested their dream, then don't invest in it. That's about as plain as I can make it. You know what I'm saying? In other words, I have a ton of great ideas that I can give y'all right now and say, man, it wouldn't be nice if we had our own movie studio. Wouldn't it be nice if we had this? Wouldn't it be nice if we had this? Okay, I need your money to do that. No, no. You should be asking me, okay, that sounds great, but what have you done first? What are you doing right now? What have you done up to this point? Well, I just the Most High just put this in my mind and see, I just sense in my spirit, this is what we're supposed to do. Okay, you can sense that in your spirit, but you ain't getting any of my sense. Okay, you ain't getting, or my dollars. Okay, you need to chop, get on out there and start building something, and then we'll see and then we'll come back about 3 to 5 years and see how far are you with that. Okay, because if it's something that's supposed to stand in the test of time and is meant for us, then you will be the first example that we can follow. It's very simple. But I'm taking it. I wanted to take the time to share this part because there's so many of our people who fall for these kind of things. And because you're just caught up in the spirit. But you don't realize, man, no, you can't do that. You understand what I'm saying? You have to ask. It goes back to what we were saying about politics. You have to start asking difficult questions. And I especially say that because I know in that Hebrew space, especially, you have a lot of people who are either approaching or are in their retirement years, which means that you're sitting on some money. So some of y'all anyway, right? Some of y'all. And don't think for one moment that people don't keep those things in mind when they're pitching these dreams of grandeur and stuff to you. I've heard some things about even Straightway, where you got older people that sign up to go to Straightway, that's Pastor Dow stuff, where they're signing over land. They're signing over deeds. They're signing over their deeds to their own property and saying, yeah, this is for the group. You never sign up anything. If you've never met these people before and you only know them on social media, like if I were to come to y'all today and say, hey, listen, I want to buy some land right now. Now, y'all know me. Some of y'all been following me all this time. Wandea, please. Wandea been following us for a long time. I expect her to send me some money. No, I do not. No, I most certainly do not. It's mostly social media. That's it. The platform, that's it. But that kind of relationship where we know each other like that and have built a personable trust like that, we have not done that. Doesn't mean I don't trust her like that, but I'm saying trust has different levels. That's the point I'm saying. And that goes for anybody else in here. I wouldn't expect her to, she don't work all hard and I'm calling on Wandea like, girl, listen, we trying to do something. Can you send me, I know this is how much you got in your retirement. Can you send that to me? No, that's disrespectful. Why would I do that? But I can name you some people right now who have done that. You understand? So I say this for the benefit of those, if, some people just don't think these things through. Well, let me help you. Okay. Ultimately, you're grown. You can do what you want, but that is an idea. That's a thumb sketch of what needs to happen. You as an individual, the thought process you need to go through when you are approached by anybody who's wanting you to throw some kind of money their way. You need to first ask them, what have they actually built with their own stuff besides a website? Okay, you build a website, that's good. Okay, but that ain't okay. But what you're talking about is building a whole mall. Okay, where's half of your mall? Well, it's on my website. If you go to the About Us page, goodbye. You know what I'm saying? So no, that's it. So that's it, y'all. That's all I have for y'all. We covered quite a bit here on this broadcast today, ranging from politics, and then we showed you about what's going on in Sombertree land, and of course this whole notion of listening to these people out here that's basically and ultimately trying to take your money and using fear to do so. All right. So yeah, we got you covered here, and I'm sure we'll be live again soon as the whole political world is still kind of going in on each other. It's quite entertaining to watch, quite honestly. And, but we'll continue to look at it. But but keep in mind the things I was saying. Who's really behind the scenes pulling the strings? Take that very seriously, okay? Take it very, very seriously. Don't look over it, all right? Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys take care, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.